Dog Nation, Jackson, Janet's greetings and welcome to your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. Your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some Steelers talk along with a Bugcap here. We're going to do things a little different, little weird week here. So I got Bugboo here to do the show this week. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
All right, we'll start with our typical Bugcap, which is talking about last week's game. We got Green Bay Sunday Night Football. The Steelers in the ugliest throwbacks I think I've ever seen them wear. And there's an old saying in sports: look good, feel good, play good. Well, those uniforms didn't look good. The Steelers surely didn't feel good, and they definitely did not play good in that 35-25 loss.
Yep.
Anything to say about the game?
Those jerseys looked ugly.
That's true, but I was talking more about the game than their decisions, in terms of style.
Defense need to make stops.
That's true. They certainly do. Offense can't get out of its own way. Some major injuries coming out of this game. Equale's lost for the year. That's the defensive tackle. Pec strain of some sort for Isaac Simualu. And, of course, Deshaun Elliott with a knee injury. We don't know if it's super severe or not, as the Steelers trade for a new safety in Kyle Duggar. So now we have both of last year's New England Patriots starting safeties in Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar on the team, and the Steelers add a wide receiver, Valdez Scantley, which to me is just kind of a redundancy with Calvin Austin III. So some moves being made.
Yep.
And getting some things. Not a whole lot of good things other than to say Chris Boswell's pretty good at football.
Oh, of course he is.
That's about the only positive I could really fully come up with. The running game did okay, but really didn't break 100 yards. Wasn't utilized enough, I guess is the way you could say. And the defense, boy, that's just
was bad.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Let's start out there. Any plays that really were the reasons for you that this team couldn't get it going?
Defense not making stops.
They certainly did not make stops. I don't even know how you want to phrase it. I mean, Green Bay just literally, Jordan Love would just throw the ball in the air. We're here watching it just float around, and two Steelers would be near the ball. Neither one makes a play on it, and it'd be caught by a wide receiver for the Packers.
Yeah.
And that happened on multiple times. We give up 150 yards after catch to a tight end.
Yeah.
And that's not going to get easier this week. Yeah, I don't know where to start with this game because I don't know what you even want to talk about because it was terrible is a crazy way to put it.
You mean Go Pack going out stadium was weird.
Yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing thing to me was that it was hearing that. Now this is a fun one. It's something new here. The games in which the Steelers have allowed 35 points and had 0 sacks and 0 takeaways, it's now happened 4 times in Steelers history. It happened 1991 against Washington, 1997 against Dallas, and 2010 versus New England. It also happened Sunday against the Packers, where we allow a jillion points and get no turnovers. This team right now, Bug, is not generating any push defensively. It's not causing any turnovers. It's kind of slowed down the run, but the Packers have struggled a bit this year running the ball. They're leading running backs under 4 yards a carry, so they were close to their season average. It's not like we held them drastically below what they normally do. I'm just struggling, and this team was fully healthy. I'm just struggling to see what they do well.
Yeah.
Do you think they do something well, or you think they're just in this bad boat?
I think they're just in a sinking boat.
In a sinking boat. That's fair to say. I mean, you hear guys like T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward ask for all this more money, and they're not having a bad year necessarily, right? But most of what T.J. Watt has done has been in one game. Cam Hayward really hasn't shown up as a defensive lineman. The sack numbers aren't there, and they're running all over him. Alex Highsmith gets a big paycheck. They're running to his side all the time. These guys aren't lightly paid. They need to step up and earn their paycheck. I mean, heck, Myles Garrett last week had 5 sacks in a game. That's more than T.J. Watt has on the season.
Wait, that is?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good spot to be. This secondary can't cover anybody. Joey Porter Jr.'s two handsies. We bring in Thornhill and Chuck Clark, and Mike Tomlin tells us how this defense is going to be historic. Well, he was right. The problem is, it's historically bad.
Yep.
Eh,
That's a good answer.
Anything to say about the offense, Bug?
We keep on getting sacked.
We didn't really get sacked very much that game. A couple at the end when we were trying to move the ball down the field, but that's kind of a forced thing. There are some issues I probably need to talk about, but let's finish the defense first before we get to that. No pass rush whatsoever. No sacks against Jordan Love. When he was pressured, you just threw the ball up. It was caught. No ability to cover tight ends. Really killing the Steelers out there. Wide receivers doing whatever the heck they want. Penalties at bad times, no takeaways being caused. When the other team makes a mistake and turns the ball over, we look okay. But when the other team plays a clean sheet, which they are capable of, every team in the NFL, this defense just can't get the job done. That's unacceptable for a unit that invested so highest paid defense in the league. A unit where we went out, we traded players in order to make sure we could get more defensive players. We traded to get defensive players that fit our schemes. We spend big money on guys like Patrick Queen, who just can't seem to make tackles. Like, yeah, he's had one or two good games this year, but he's had four terrible games. This team needs to find the ability to create an identity, Bug, whether it's stopping the run, stopping the pass. They need to learn to stop something, and I'm not sure with the way it is that it's going to happen, and especially with the attitude that is given by guys like Mike Tomlin. When you hear quotes like, I've been generally happy with the job Terrell Austin's done here. Dude, you just got spanked for 30 plus points. This year, you've given up 30 plus points more often than you've prevented 30 plus points. And you're going to say you've been generally happy with the way your defensive coordinator has performed? I mean, the angriest people are people in the media like old Steeler, James Harrison, Debo, ripping this defense for not going out there, not playing, just if you want to watch a fun clip, watch him scare Joe Hayden. Gingy shared that with me. This defense has no identity, has no leadership that holds them accountable, and has no one else holding them accountable. We've heard for the past 2 years Cam Hayward and TJ Watt say, we're going to stop this. And have they?
No, no, they have not.
That's fair to say. I'm worried about the trend of this team because this team doesn't seem like they want to trend in the right direction, and that's a problem.
Yep.
Now we get to the offensive side of the ball here. There were some good things. Aaron put up decent numbers. DK Metcalf catches a touchdown. Roman Wilson catches a big pass in his first touchdown. That was good to see Roman Wilson really get involved.
Yep, and DK poked someone in the face.
I was going to get to the bads, but yeah. Offensive line, again, generates over 4 yards of carry for the running game. The sacks are limited, all things considered, when you're playing Micah Parsons, although you still let him affect the game, which neither here nor there. And this was one of those games I was really hoping TJ would outperform a guy who's been saying that TJ doesn't belong in the conversation for multiple years, and that's Micah Parsons. But this game, Micah Parsons showed that, hey, they game planned for me. I'm going to wreck the game still, while TJ Watt was getting shut down one-on-one by a tight end. That just can't happen for a guy who gets paid as much as a quarterback. And an offense, when you're playing another guy who's clearly that team's game wrecker, you have to be able to stop him. But the Steelers could not stop Micah Parsons. He still had an impact in the game.
Yep.
Anything else to say about it?
No.
No? Okay. When we continue with that, the offense, they didn't really convert third downs. We had silly penalties. All the people who complained that George Pickens is a diva and hurts his team and all this and all that, and then was so happy with the DK Metcalf trade. One, I like George Pickens. Two, I like the Metcalf trade. But I said when that happened, I was like, all you people who are out there and loving trading for DK Metcalf and hating George Pickens, you're going to find out why Seattle traded DK Metcalf. And it's that he's a diva, and it's that he's going to make silly penalties because of his hot-headedness that are going to cost you in football games. And it hadn't happened till this one, but you like to point about that eye poke, and you want to talk about a game-changer, Bug. We need a huge drive to get back in the game. It's 3rd and 2. That eye poke turns into a 3rd and 17. No chance for this Steelers offense to convert.
Yeah. What was DK even thinking?
I don't know. It's a hothead. It's what he's been his whole career. It's what He has a talent that you're enamored with, and then the discipline of a 7-year-old on the football field.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, back to big drops hurting the Steelers. DK dropping a touchdown pass that ended up resulting in a field goal. Jonnu Smith dropping the 2-point conversion. What's going on with all these drops?
I have no idea. They must have butterfingers.
Fair enough. Yeah. Uh, the offense also needs to learn to generate more red zone trips. When we get there, we score. But settling for field goals has been a Mike Tomlin thing for a long time, and we have been settling for way too many field goals. I understand Chris Boswell is good. I understand Chris Boswell has bailed Mike Tomlin out time after time after time by being an elite kicker. But field goals don't beat good football teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to elaborate?
We need touchdowns. We need extra points too.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice that Boswell's kicking extra points instead of field goals. Anything final to say on just a good thumping that happened on Sunday night in some ugly uniforms? Anything to say about it before we move on to the talking about the next game?
Really, Aaron Rodgers tried.
The offense did try. I'll say that. I'm sure Mike Tomlin at some point is going to praise the defense for their ability to do absolutely nothing. All right, let's move on to Indianapolis coming into Pittsburgh. The Steelers are 27-8-0 all time against the Indianapolis Colts. At Acrisure, they're not Acrisure. At Pittsburgh, which this game we played at Acrisure, they're 17-2. So the Steelers really good record all time against the Colts here. The biggest win was the Steelers by 42 points in 1985. The Colts' biggest win was in 1968 by 34 points. They were the Baltimore Colts then. The longest streak is Pittsburgh won 9 straight from 1985 to 2002. The Colts won 2 straight from 68 to 71, and from 2023 to currently, they're on a 2-game winning streak against our Steelers. The last one being a 27-24 victory by the Colts in Indianapolis on September 29th of 2024. But the Steelers have won 4 straight home games dating back to 2008. Indianapolis comes in with arguably the best offense in the NFL, Bug. Is this a game the Steelers should really be concerned about? I mean, history says we've handled them pretty well, but this Colts team is showing they're not nothing to mess with at 7-1.
We have some problems. We have to stop their runs and throws.
Yeah, what else do you think?
Our defense actually has to step up.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair thing to expect out of them, would be the nice way to do it. When you look at the Colts this year, they've done it some pretty well ways. I mean, 30. This is their points per game. They only scored 20 points in the game they lost, but their wins, they have 33, 29, 41, 40, 31, 38, 38. And this is the Steelers defense that's been giving up 30. It really feels like this might be a game where the Steelers need to score 30-plus points.
Yeah.
Sorry about that cough there. And they went out and they've beaten some bad teams, but they beat some good teams in there. You know, they've beaten the Chargers, they've beaten the Broncos. So there are some good wins on their schedule. This is a team led by Daniel Jones on his redemption tour. Former Giants quarterback, a backup quarterback after that. I think he was in Minnesota for a little bit. Having a heck of a season. He's already thrown for 2,000 yards. That puts him on pace for 4,000 on the season. They have a good set of pass catchers. They have a running back who's been absolutely off the charts this year. What are you thinking here, Bug?
We need to stop him.
We do. Of course, when we talk about that, Daniel Jones having a heck of a comeback year. Jonathan Taylor has 850 rushing yards this year. Daniel Jones second on the team at 86, so really he's the big threat there. Tyler Warren, their tight end, has about 500 yards receiving. If you just saw what Kraft did against the Steelers, that's kind of concerning. They also have a good set of receivers here. Pittman Jr. has 450 yards receiving. Alex Pierce has about 400 yards receiving. Josh Downs has 350 or 250 yards receiving. this offense for the Colts is coming in red hot. The Steelers need to figure out something to get this Halloween-ish game going, to figure out how to stop something with the way they've been playing. I'm not sure the Colts team is the one that's going to happen against, though, Bug.
If it is, I'm going to fall.
Of course, we're going to be there for the game. Your sister's going to see her first game. So the Steelers, if they're going to turn it around, this will be as good time as any to do it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's talk the defense here for the Colts. Latu leads them in interception with Beckman and Bynum with 2, so they do turn the ball over a lot. Nick Cross and Zaire Franklin are playing good in there. Sack-wise, DeForest Buckner, Tyquan Lewis, Kawiti Payne, and of course Leatu Latu, all guys who can get after the quarterback. This is a team that maybe the defense is their weakness, but I don't know how you say that because the defense is so good and plays great. Oh yeah, this is a team that it's hard to figure out where their weakness really is because they have playmakers on all level, are able to just shut you down everywhere. It's gonna be a rough game for the Steelers. Maybe the best chance we have here is that their kicker Michael Badgley's been known to miss some kicks every now and then. So I don't know, Bug. This is a game that absolutely makes me nervous about what might happen to the Steelers. What are you feeling?
I feel like we better win.
Well, you're right about that. We better win. That'd be a nice thing to see.
And finally win.
Just finally win. Okay. When we get there, we talk about what the Steelers defensively. We'll talk about what the Steelers need to do here. So really, it stops with stopping Jonathan Taylor, right? You got to stop the run. You got to make them one-dimensional. You have to make it to where Daniel Jones has to be the one to beat you. And Daniel Jones has been known to make some mistakes when he's put in those circumstances. So honestly, it comes down to stopping the run. Some of the Steelers have not been good at for a while. And it's what they need to do in order to move forward, I think, is stop the run. You think that's fair, or are you looking at something else?
I'm looking at defense has to be good.
Just has to be good altogether. That's fair to say, because I guess you have to say they also have to make sure they shut down Warren as well, the tight end, and then wide receivers. I mean, it's all levels to go out there. To be fair, the one game the Colts lost, while Taylor did have a decent game, he did not break 100 yards. So that seems to be maybe a focal point we go to. When we flip to offense, what needs to happen is the Steelers need to stop settling for field goals. They need to give the ball to Jaylen Warren more, and they need to establish a running identity. Don't know if Seaman Alu's going to play. Don't know what the injury report looks like, but he's probably going to miss, which means Spencer Anderson's going to start at guard, which means our jumbo package now needs to find a way to be used. Because the Steelers came in and they were not ready for an injury anywhere. As soon as we lose one offensive lineman, we lost the ability to run the jumbo package. And when we did that, we were not able to run the ball. That's unacceptable. They need to be prepared this week. They need to find a way to get that jumbo package installed, and they need to make sure they're able to do it because that's how they've been most successful this year is in that jumbo package. It needs to be used. Need to stop kicking field goals. Need to go down and score touchdowns. And DK Metcalf needs to stay disciplined.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about what you expect to see from the offense?
I expect that DK doesn't poke anybody in the face no more.
No, that's fair. I was hoping more like moving the ball stuff. Keeping Aaron Rodgers clean against this team will be important. And the Steelers really not looking very good when they turn the football over. Need to make sure we don't have any turnovers. Of course, I forgot to talk about it in the recap, but Kenneth Gainwell late in the game with a costly fumble for the Steelers. That kind of stuff can't happen when you're playing a team like the Colts.
Yeah.
Now, Bug, normally when I do this stuff, we have this little section we call cash or trash. I'll say a statement, and if you think it's going to happen, you say cash. If you think it's not going to happen, you say trash. So, like last week, if I was going to say Jaylen Warren's going to run for 100 yards, and you're like, oh, I like that, you'd say cash it. If you're like, no, he's only going to run for like 80 yards, you say trash. So we're going to start. We do 5 on offense. We do 5 on defense. Do you want to start with the defense or the offense? Offense. Okay. The first one for offense is Aaron Rodgers will throw 2 or more touchdowns this week against the Colts. Cash or trash?
Pass.
All right. Number 2, DK Metcalf will go over 100 yards receiving with a touchdown. Cash or trash?
Cash.
Okay. The Steelers' offense will play turnover-free football. Cash or trash? We won't turn the ball over.
Cash.
Bug is on a cash roll here. Number 4, Jaylen Warren averages over 4 yards a carry again against the Colts and gets over 80 yards rushing. Cash or trash?
Cash.
And the last one for the offense, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense really needs someone other than DK to step up. I don't know if it's going to be Valdez Scantling or last week it was Roman Wilson. Again, the Steelers will have a receiver not named DK Metcalf with over 60 yards receiving. Cash or trash?
Cash.
All right, Bug has cashed in everything on offense, which means he expects lots of points from the Steelers offense this week.
Of course I do.
All right, let's get to the defensive side of the ball. TJ Watt will show up this week with 2 or more sacks. Cash or trash?
Cash.
The defense will force turnovers from the Colts with 2 or more turnovers. Cash or trash?
Cash.
Okay, got to talk up a little bit.
Cash.
The defense will shut down Jonathan Taylor, holding him under 100 yards rushing.
Cash.
The Steelers will also hold down Ty Warren and the Colts receivers to no one breaking 80 yards receiving. Cash or trash?
Cash.
How many did we say there? Is that 3 or 4?
4.
4. So we got one more here. And the last one is going to be the Steelers pass rush will get home. They'll have an absolute party. The defense will stop everyone, and the Colts will be held. And this is a really, really big expectation here. The Colts will be held under 30 points. Cash or trash? All right. Sounds good there. He said cash to all the defensive ones as well. So now we get to the point where we predict football games. I don't have Gingy's predictions. If we get them, we'll add them in the comments below. And if not, well, that's what we are. So, first we have the Ravens playing the Dolphins. Oh boy, that's 2 teams that have been struggling this year, though. The Ravens coming off a good game. It's Thursday night football, fake football. It's going to be in Miami. 2-5 Baltimore going to 2-6 Miami. I like the Ravens, Bug. Who do you like?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Okay, that's fair. Laskers also likes the Ravens. Laskers likes the Bears beating the Bengals. Oh man, that's a hard one for me because Chicago's going to Cincy. Both those teams kind of struggle. You know what? I think the Bengals are kind of on a run right now, and after that loss to the Jets, I don't know if they let that happen again. But Bears are my breakout team, so you know what? I'll take Chicago over Cincy. All right, Bug's also on Chicago over Cincy. I believe the Browns have a bye week this week, so we don't have to worry about their game. And, of course, we have the Colts coming to the Steelers. Laskers likes the Colts 38, Steelers 31, with Jonathan Taylor as the X factor. Bug, who do you like in this game?
It's Bud.
Who do you think is going to be the most important player?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is the breakout. Okay. Well, I'm with Laskers on this one. I think it is certainly going to be the Colts winning. I think the defense gets their stuff absolutely chewed apart. I think the Colts score, let's call it 33. I think the Steelers score, let's call it 24 with a late touchdown that doesn't really matter. And let's say the X factor is Warren, the tight end. I don't think the Steelers show the ability to stop tight ends. I don't think they have the ability to scheme to stop tight ends because we haven't stopped tight ends since before Rob Gronkowski, which was in the football league, and he's now doing TV analyst. So that tells you how long it's been since the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to stop a tight end. I don't know what else to say. I don't have positive feelings about this. Now, Bug, it's time that here you give your little thought on how you see the game going, how you see it breaking down, what you see happening.
I see happening that we're just dominating the game.
How?
Offense and defense.
Yeah, but how are we dominating it? What are we doing?
Shutting them down.
Are we like establishing a good run game that sets up play action, things like that? Are we able to stop the run? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So non-talkative bug today, but there you go. There you have it. I guess it's time that I gotta let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking underscore Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily does Donkey Gingers, where you get this awesome channel, a fun little differentiated one here. We'd have more of an injury report to break down, but we're doing this on Wednesday morning, so there's not a whole heck of a lot of injury news out there, except for the players who are definitely missing this game, like Deshaun Elliott, who seems to be the big guy on the back end. So, Bugboo has no socials. We don't do that stuff at this age, but he likes to come in here, have a little fun, get a little talkative. Maybe we'll do more big shows with him, but we'll be sure to keep the Bugcaps coming. And Bug, it's that time. Let him know.
We are the Steelers, black and yellow.